All right, let's take a look. We got a short passage. We got a generally easy to understand graph. So hopefully that's good for us. We need to support the conclusion. Make sure you understand that. So what is the conclusion? To test the effects of a nitrogen fertilizer on cantaloupe production, researchers grew cantaloupe plants and harvested their fruit over 3 years. That's summarizing what the chart says. In each year, half the plants were grown using a nitrogen fertilizer and the other half were grown using a control fertilizer that contained no nitrogen. The researchers concluded that the nitrogen fertilizer increases cantaloupe yield. Nitrogen, right? Increase. So yeah, duh. In every year of the experiment, plants treated with the nitrogen fertilizer had a yield of at least 30 pounds per acre. Okay, well, that's not saying that it increased it, right? I mean, is that true? No, not for 2019. So that's not even true. That's false, right? But that's not really the reason I'd cross it out. To be honest, it's not saying that the nitrogen is better than the non-nitrogen. Really, that's what we want to say, right? Nitrogen better than no nitrogen, right? That's basically what it is. Let's look at B. In every year, the experiment plants treated with the nitrogen fertilizer had a greater yield than did the plants treated with the control fertilizer. Yes, the nitrogen is better than the not. And that is true, right? The facts are there too. The data is there. But in terms of our summary, in terms of the kind of choice we're looking for, we wanted to have a comparison. I know the comparisons are usually a sign of a trap answer choice, but not when that's what they want, right? And these graph and chart questions often are trying to do that. So this is probably the answer, but let's look at C. The 2018 yield for plants treated with the control fertilizer was greater than with the 2019 for plants treated with nitrogen fertilizer. I mean, that's not even true, is it? Oh, yes, it is. But who cares, right? The point is we want to say the nitrogen is better, and this is suggesting that the thing without nitrogen is better. So no. D, the yield for plants treated with the nitrogen fertilizer increased. Well, that might be true. I mean, I don't care. It is true, but it's not comparing it to the non-nitrogen. So there you go. So with many of these questions, whether there's a graph, a chart, or whatever, we are trying to evaluate sometimes the accuracy of the answer choices. Do the numbers in the choice match the numbers of the pattern in the graph? But there's also the idea of just like there's a certain kind of way to summarize the data that the passage is specifically trying to get us to think about, right? That's the dumb summary here, is turn this into a little bit of a math equation. And then if the choice doesn't have the same kind of relationship, it's not a good choice regardless of the numbers, regardless of the data. So if you can remember that, I usually find that thinking about these questions that way is the better way to start. It's usually easier than just going through the numbers, because the numbers might be right for multiple choices, or the patterns might be right for multiple choices, but that doesn't mean that they're correct, right? We still need to know what kind of evidence we're going to need to support the relationship that's in the passage.